Hello vlog squad and welcome back to the drafting diaries. Today, as you can probably tell, it's a super gloomy day outside, but I thought today was still a great time to write because I have about 10 minutes before I need to leave for work. So I was like, you know what? I can use this time wisely, and I rarely use time wisely, so this is really me trying to be proactive, trying to be efficient, trying to give myself something fun to do before I start the day, because as soon as I get to work, I'm going to be doing assignments, actual work, whatever they need me to do. So I figured this is a great time to kind of take some time out of my day to devote to my own fun little hobbies, tasks by working on my book. Today I have with me, you can't see it, but it's some pumpkin spice coffee because I'm very much getting in the mood for fall. I'm so excited for fall. I think this is probably my favorite season. I love seeing the leaves change color. I love the coziness of sweaters. Hello? I love the coziness of sweaters, and I just love going outside during fall. It's like always the perfect weather, and you can wear long sleeves or short sleeves and feel fine. You can wear boots. And I love boots and hats, and I love hats. Anyway, all this being said, welcome. We're gonna keep this vlog very positive because why was I editing my last one and genuinely I was having an existential crisis. Like, it was kind of funny to watch because I was genuinely like spiraling. I was spiraling a little bit. I was going through it during last week. This week we'll be bouncing back. I do feel a lot better actually. I am very happy that I feel a lot better. Today, I just wanted to work on my current chapter. I'm kind of going to be tweaking some pre-written work, colliding my current draft with my old draft because there's some parts from the old draft that I wanted to salvage to use in this new draft because I think it's still decent, and I think if I tweak it a little bit I can make it sound more like my current writing style rather than me who wrote the first draft of this book a year or so ago. It's been a while, so I feel like my writing has definitely changed a lot. There's a lot that I would like to change that I think I can make sound a lot better. I need to stop saying the word a lot. Said that like 10 times. Hello. That being said, the goal right now, even though I am editing old material, is to just finish the chapter that I have, like run through, do some quick edits, but not worry too much about how it sounds, because I feel like if I'm worrying too much about how the draft sounds right now, then I'll get stuck on it and be caught in the loop that I talked about being stuck in a couple weeks ago when I was saying that I got trapped in this cycle where I was just working on chapters little by little. So I never really had enough time to like progress it forward, and as a result I got kind of tired of my project and I was like, when will I be able to move on? Because I'm very much a person who likes writing in chronological order because I feel like that helps me to build and tease out the emotions, and skipping to a later or further back part kind of just confuses me because I don't know how much I've built the relationships in the books and the like tension between the characters, and I don't want it to kind of fall flat or be more over dramatic than it actually will end up being. That's kind of just what I'm going to be working on a bit. I've been talking for so long that now I have like 5 minutes, but that is a-okay. Hello, and welcome if you're new here. I'm working on a fantasy novel that I like to call Second Chancers, and no, that won't be the actual title, so don't get too disappointed. Basically, in my book, this girl, her ex-best friend, her love interest, and his twin brother try to revert the natural order of life after death for sinners, or as I like to call it, making a quick trip to the underworld to try to stop a vengeful water goddess from ruining their lives. I've had the idea for this book since I was 15, but started seriously working on it about 3 years ago. I also got derailed and started and completed a completely different project during that time frame, but hey, that's irrelevant. Since then, as you'd expect, Second Chancers has gone through a ton of changes. I finished the first draft roughly a year and a half ago and really started trying to iron out the details in the second draft. As you can expect, I began to realize there were quite a few plot holes and things that just weren't sparking the same excitement that I had when I first got the idea for this book. I love making my series projects super complicated, as you've probably figured out by now. So I changed a lot of the book, adding new chapters, characters, and plot points. Currently, I'm just trying to make sure the plot is solid, and after that, I'll move on to making the book sound more of the way I want it to. At this point, I just gotten home from class and I had a random motivation to work on my book, which doesn't happen very often, so I feel like whenever I do get that random motivation, I kind of need to act on it. I need to harness that drive and really do something about it, you know? So this is me being very responsible, I guess, creatively responsible in a sense. And you know, I'm proud of her. Look at her go. She's doing her little typing thing. It's currently 3 p.m. I just made a pumpkin spice iced coffee. I tried it iced this time because I had tried to make it iced, but every time I tried it didn't taste right. But this one, it tastes right. And I think it's because I put the ice in before putting the creamer. I feel like I was putting way too much creamer. That's enough. I randomly got the urge to go on a run, and I feel like whenever I get the urge to go on a run, I should be going on a run because it doesn't come often. I probably have the urge to go on a run once a week, probably less than that, but whenever I do get that urge, I'm like, okay, I am going on that run. Running has always been something for me that's been very freeing. It's very fun to do, and once you build up your endurance and you can actually run for a pretty long period of time, I feel like you get very used to it and it becomes fun because you're not huffing and puffing, you're actually just looking around, enjoying the nature around you. Since I was young, I've always liked running. I was on the track team. I'm wearing a very interesting outfit. I tried to wear something that I won't be reaching for on the daily, so I have these bright blood red running pants. I got them last year from the thrift because I thought oh, they're giving sporty spice, they're giving 90s, and I think they are. The problem is I really most of my closet's neutrals if it's not a bright color a yellow, so I really don't have anything that matches these pants except for this gray top. That is all. Forget how much serotonin going on a run can make me have. I got back and I have so much energy, and I feel even before I left, just the idea of going on the run is giving me so much energy and I feel so alive. I am bouncing off the walls right now, and I think I'm gonna go do my hair, which is gonna take a lot of energy and effort, so I'll use my newfound energy wisely. Today I'll probably try to get some writing in. I actually, since the last time I think I talked, I made a lot of progress, or maybe that was the last time I was talking, I don't know. Finished part of a chapter and then I kind of was okay, I'm not gonna tinker with it anymore until I actually want to go back to it and fix some stuff. I am starting a new chapter. I'm gonna have to change a lot about the chapter because I'm working with some old material from the first draft, but I will be changing a lot about that chapter. So it's really going to be nothing like whatever it was in the first draft, because something completely different is happening, but I do want to use some aspects of it. Yeah, I'm just like so randomly hyped right now, and I feel like I could go back outside and go on another run. I was gonna stay outside for even longer and do like maybe an hour, but there was this house on one of the street corners who was having like a big party, and I was starting to get awkward passing them like multiple times. Like I probably passed them like 7 or 8 times at that point, and there were people like in the street tossing football and stuff, and every time I pass I'd kind of make eye contact with a few of them, and they're people that I'm pretty sure go to my school. So I was just like, yeah, like getting a little bit awkward. I was considering going to the gym or something, but then I'd also have to see like a lot more people from my school, so I scrapped that. Decided that I was probably just using running as a procrastination method just to keep from moving on. And I also think it was just the weather is so nice. It's like the perfect running weather in the 60s, so I was just like, it's not gonna be like this forever, so I might as well take advantage of it. But I think that by taking advantage of it, I was also like low-key procrastinating getting on with my day. It's almost 4 p.m. It's 6 minutes to 4. I think it's good to have at least one day that's pretty chill. It would be ideal to allocate one day to doing like no schoolwork, but I know myself, and rationally, if I spend one day without doing schoolwork or intentionally not doing schoolwork, it will feel like I'm overloading the other days that I do have to finish the schoolwork. And I do have an exam when I get back to school next week. I'm probably gonna do like a little bit of work tonight. Guys, I'm like just remembering that Nano is next month, and I'm like so mind blown because it really just snuck up on me. Like it's really October, and that means it's Preptober, and I just like completely forgot that it was Preptober until probably like yesterday. Like I don't know why it just wasn't on my radar, but all of a sudden I'm like, October is like halfway over. Nano is next month, and I haven't started prepping, so next vlog, definitely a Preptober vlog. So with that out the way, I took myself out to get some boba. The only problem is that they didn't have boba, so it's kind of just brown sugar milk tea, which I'm fine with because I'm a big fan of a brown sugar milk tea, but like the boba was on it. That's like the main attraction of getting a bubble tea. So now I kind of just have like a tea. Don't quite know what brown sugar milk tea is made of. Like I would think it would be made of like a black tea with milk and then brown sugar syrup, but I feel like this one, it kind of just tastes like milk and brown sugar, which is fine because it's like really good, but like I don't know where the tea is in this. I'm gonna be so for real, I don't know. In other news, my roommate slash friend, I don't know if I need to say this slash friend, she got me this. It's a little froggy guy drinking a coffee or tea and reading a book on a little chair, and she just brought this to me today. I was like, what is it for? And she said she just saw it when she was online and it reminded her of me, which is like the nicest thing ever. I was so not expecting it. Like low-key, she called me and she was like, hey, are you home? And I was like, why? And then she was just like, I just want to know. And I was like, okay, but like why? What's going on? There's a knock at my door. It's this little frog, and that is so adorable. I stand. I've just been like thinking about my book because I was watching why am I sitting like I was watching an Esme Pearson vlog. Well, it wasn't a vlog, it was more like an advice video. She was giving advice on how to, I think, finish or start your draft. I think it was finishing your draft. And one of the things she said that really stuck with me was, what are your characters' motivations, and like are they just doing the things that you planned for them to do in the book, or are they actually driving the plot forward themselves? One thing I really liked that she said was to make your characters make mistakes, because in real life your own mistakes are really the things that teach you like the biggest lesson. And I was thinking about that, trying to go over my own book to try to think about what mistakes have I planned for my characters to make, what mistakes have they made in the book that can really like drive the plot forward, because I think I'm very much trying to connect the plot in a way that makes sense, and as a result I may be ignoring maybe some parts that need to be fleshed out about my characters' motivations and the lessons that they learn through things that go awry. I just thought that was a very important thing to have on my mind as I'm delving back into the book. But I'm very excited. I kept being like, I don't know what I'm gonna do today. Like, I want to do work, but also I really don't. But then I was like, wait, I have a whole book that I'm supposed to be working on right now. Went on my run, got the tea, did my hair. Like, I feel very new. I am just going to jump into the chapter that I was working on, listen to some music, get some writing done. I feel like this will be fun, and I'll have this little guy as my little writing buddy. Bubble tea. It's like so cozy. Like, I'm having a great time right now. This is like the ideal Saturday night. Hello. I'm trying to see what part I was on because I don't even remember. Okay, so let us jump on it and get some stuff done. Okay, so I have been writing probably for about the last 2 or so hours. I was just very in the zone, and honestly, when I started, I just couldn't stop. Like, I feel like having the material from draft 1 really made everything a lot easier. Like, the writing went by super fast, and it's really just because I was editing kind of what I had. Like, obviously, I added a ton of stuff, but having this foundation made it go by so quick and easy. Like, genuinely, I finished the chapter that I was working on, and I finished an entirely new chapter. So in 2 hours, I did one entire chapter, and I've capped off the chapter that I was working on, which is crazy progress because honestly, it normally takes me pretty long. Okay, not long, but it takes me probably about 40 or so minutes per chapter, or more or less, depending on what the chapter is, how easily it comes to me, how much I have to like think about what I'm actually writing. It was very low energy, low effort for me as well. And honestly, I was listening to Be My Baby by the Ronettes, and I was writing like a very intense scene. Doing that, I feel like kind of gave me some sort of weird creative burst, because as I'm writing this literal duel, I'm listening to like be my baby. That whole weird interplay was very cool because it felt like I was almost watching a movie, and that song was playing in the background as I was like reading and writing the fight scene. And that was also really crazy because it was kind of giving me A24 film or like Umbrella Academy vibes, where it's just like some weird, completely distant song playing in the background of like a very serious, sad scene. That was very interesting in terms of like visualizing what was happening in the scene, because I feel like maybe that song could have had an effect on like how the actual text came out, perhaps. Instead of getting me like in the headspace, it kind of let me step outside of the scene and see it from a third person perspective rather than like the first person, like my main character is seeing it. And I think that I need to like read over it tomorrow to see if it actually, well, maybe not tomorrow, but at some point I need to read over it to see if it actually accomplished like the emotions that I wanted it to have during that scene. But I think that listening to that song really provided a very interesting kind of potential way of conveying the scene, just because I feel like it is like honestly one of the biggest parts of the book that I was working on right now. By no means done. Like, this will definitely not be the final draft. There's still a lot I need to tweak, a lot I need to add, a lot of details, and I also want to add some more bonding scenes between my main character and one of the other characters. That's very important before this scene comes. I'm very proud of the progress that I've been able to make in this session. I want to keep working on it right now, but it's currently going on 1 o'clock, and I feel like it's not wise to keep going. Also, I got to a part where I had to expend a bit more energy to kind of come up what's going to happen next, because I will have to kind of write the thing from scratch. So at that point I was like, wait, it's not like easy breezy anymore. Maybe I should like take a break now. So that's where I've decided to cut myself off for now. But I'm very excited. I think if I look at my chapter outline, I have about 10 chapters left in the book, which I'm also kind of conflicted about this, because if you've been following along my journey, you know that I've been kind of trying to figure out if I should split this into 2 separate books or make it one mega book. I really don't know how long exactly it is now. I don't know how many like placeholders I have and how much stuff is actually going to be convert it into the real book, because right now I'm on page 216 of this document, which I think if you fold it over into like a book form, actually how many pages would that be in book form? I'm not quite sure. I guess it depends on like font size and a bunch of other things. Oh my gosh, it's giving me a formula. I don't want to use a formula. Okay, 11-point type, divide your word count by 3. I don't want to divide the word count, bro. I also don't know like what's the normal font size that books are. This isn't helpful. When it said calculator, I didn't think I would have to be the calculator. Like I'm not built like that. Hello. I am a little concerned about how long this will end up being, because I do feel like I have quite a bit more to wrap the book up in a way that feels like they're not too many loose ends, because I really hate having too many loose ends in a book. I think it's good to have an open ending depending on the book, but this book, I don't really want to have an open ending, I don't think, or if it is an open ending, I don't want it to be anything major where it's like completely, it just feels like an author kind of shortcoming at that point. I don't really want that. So I'm a little bit scared, but I'm going to finish the draft, see what the word count is. I feel like there's more I want to add, so I'm also a little bit concerned about that. But maybe if I end up cutting out some stuff that's unnecessary, it's fine. I'm still trying to figure out if this is more of like a young adult or an adult book. I'm thinking right now it's more of a young adult, but young adult in the sense that it follows 20-year-olds. So I don't, that's more like is that new adult? Because some young adult books I read and I'm like, I really don't understand why this is young adult. Like it feels very adult. If you've ever read the Atlas 6, I'd say it's like 2 steps below the Atlas 6 in terms of maturity, which I think would be young adult. I feel like a lot of books could be classified as young adult because young adult isn't very strict, to be honest. Like kind of anything can be young adult, which is kind of a problem, I think. I think there should be more like delineations about what makes a book young adult and what doesn't. Kind of important to like finding your audience, but whatever. In this chapter, I had someone really grumpy giving a pep talk, and it was a super interesting dynamic to write. My main character was having a little bit of a villain arc for a second, but not really a villain, just being like hopeless, which is very interesting to write because usually it's the other way around for them. That's kind of all I have to update on. I think this is actually where I'm going to end up capping this vlog because I feel like I talked a lot. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm super excited to work on Preptober. Is it too ambitious to try to finish the book in November? I feel like it's not. Like if I really like work on it, I feel like it's possible. Of course, I don't want to like rush it. I think by December would be reasonable to say the book will be done, which is a crazy thing to say, by the way, or at least this draft. Not the entire book. I still need to go in. There's some places where I left asterisks and I want to like fill them in with more description. I think by the end of the year, this book should be done, which is such a crazy thing to say. Super excited to just like move into the editing process and like maybe even print this book out, reread it.